Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Nick over here at Project Central, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 basic recommendations for the driveway mechanic from Harbor Freight. Maybe you're just getting started out working on cars. Maybe you're realizing that you are very capable of doing your own maintenance and saving a little bit of money, especially in this economy. So, here are my top 10 recommendations, and I'm going to include a bonus tip at the end, so stay tuned for that. All right, first up is going to be just a basic set of sockets, wrenches, and some socket extensions. Nothing crazy, just a basic set with the most common sizes. Most vehicles nowadays use primarily metric fasteners. So those are going to be your millimeter scale fasteners. And that's what I would suggest investing in first. Unless, of course, you're working on something specific, old American muscle car or whatever. So, but if you're just getting started out working on a modern vehicle, metric tools are going to be what you want. All right, and on those metric tools, make sure you get every size from 8 millimeter all the way to like 19 or 20 millimeters. So, and that will allow you to do almost every basic repair you're going to need to do. Also, another great investment while you're, stocking up on tools is a set of extensions. They have a couple different kinds, just the regular, different length of extensions. They have some that have a wobble head on them that are super trick that may be a good investment. But they also have some that have a locking head. Those are the ones I like the most because if you're really trying to get a socket way down deep into something, you don't want it like coming off at all. So there's a couple different brands. There's Pittsburgh and Icon. Both are good. I've had good luck with both. So just whatever your budget is on those. All right, next up, number two. We've already talked about sockets and wrenches and stuff. Now we're going to talk about some basic hand tools. This is going to be screwdrivers, nut drivers, which is basically a screwdriver with a socket on the end of it, hammers, pliers, stuff like that. There are going to be tons of different types of fasteners. Sometimes you've got to maybe like a little hose clamp you got to pull off. Maybe you've got just something you got to pry up or whatever the situation may be. You're going to need more than just sockets and wrenches to do that. So investing in a good basic set of hand tools is great. Plus, you can use those for a million other projects around the house and whatever else you're doing. And again, Harbor Freight has a bunch of different brands, all the way from like the multi packs of I'm gonna say lower end tools, but they can work in a pinch, to your single tools that are a little bit more expensive. But again, pick your poison. All right, after we've been buying some tools for a while, we're gonna need a place to put those tools. So to start off with, I'm gonna suggest just a basic little tool bag, right? Something to put, your sockets and wrenches in. Maybe you get a couple, one for like hammers and screwdrivers and like maybe more household generic tools, and then another one for like mechanics tools. Or maybe you just get one big one and throw it all in. I did that for a long time. Also, don't worry about ever outgrowing these because these bags are so handy. I've got 5 or 6 of them in different vehicles for tow straps, for roadside kits, for I've got one set up just for tire stuff now. So they're very handy. It's a good investment and they last a very long time, especially if you don't abuse them. So we've got some tools, we got a place to put them. Next we're going to think about a little bit of safety. Not necessarily like hard hat safety, but more like convenience safety. And what I mean by that is if you're under your vehicle, put some clear safety glasses on. You don't want crap falling in your eyes, even if it's just a little rock from the road, even if you have, whatever, or dirt or crap. You don't want that stuff in your eyes. So, get some clear safety glasses, get some gloves, even if it's just a box of mechanics gloves, can definitely make it so much nicer when you inevitably get that phone call when your elbows deep in an oil change or something like that. You're gonna have to scratch your nose. You're gonna have to take a phone call. So some gloves are great. They make a bunch of different varieties. They make the like mechanic style gloves that are disposable. They've also got like leather gloves and cut resistant gloves, and I definitely suggest investing in some of this stuff, because when you get hurt and you're bleeding everywhere, you can't work on your car. So keep that in mind. At some point, every project, the lights go out. Sun goes down and you're still working on something, or the way your schedule fell, you have to work on it at night so that you can go to work the next day or go on a trip or go do whatever. And that's why you gotta plan ahead for some lighting. Basic flashlight is a great first option. If it's something quick, hey, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna diagnose this thing, see if I'm gonna fix it tonight. Little flashlight's perfect. Harbor Freight has a bunch of these. I've got some of the Bauer ones. They're pretty good. I like those. I just bought one of the little puck lights. I'd be excited to try that out. But my favorite type, we used to call them drop lights. I think they call them something else now, but they're basically a directional light that you can pull under the vehicle and shine around. The corded options are what I've used forever, but they make some battery ones now. And if you've already invested in some of the Harbor Freight battery systems, the Hercules or the Bauer systems, they make these battery flashlights, and they're pretty cool because they sit on their own and you can point them at whatever you're working on. So if you're underneath a car, you can point it and you have light. You don't need to, yell at your kids to point the flashlight where you need it to. So that's good, and those are some of my favorite options. All right, now that we're finally working on our vehicle, one of the most basic maintenance items we can do is an oil change. But there are a couple tools we need to invest in to do that. Oil change ramps, if you drive something that's low enough to the ground where you can't get under it, great investment. Oil drain pan, you got to put that oil in something that's going to catch it. And most importantly, like being able to catch the oil and then securely and safely dump that into another container, or be able to take that container to the auto parts store to dispose of the oil. You got to have something like that. You can't just go and get your wife's Tupperware. Ask me how I know. Not a good day. Also, I'm going to recommend getting some sort of oil filter wrench. They make a couple different kinds. They make they make like these round ones that go on the bottom of the oil filter. They make some that are like vice grips that lock on, clamp on, and there's some that are just like a big pair of pliers or whatever. Whichever variety interests you, definitely consider picking a pair up, because I don't understand the science behind it, but after driving a few thousand miles, 5,000 or 6,000 miles, you got to do an oil change. Somehow, that filter is just glued onto the block. It is unbelievable how tight they get. I know there's also some oil filter brands that have like a nut on the box, the bottom of it, where you can put a socket on it. So that may be a good option too. All right, another super common easy repair is going to be topping off your AC, right? Doesn't sound like a super easy repair, but it is. Here in Oklahoma, it's hot, like all the time. We run our AC year round, just about, because sometimes it's 100 degrees in the summer, sometimes it's 90 degrees in the winter. It just is like that. Who knows, right? But they make these AC all-in-one kit products, where all you do is, it's got a little push connector. You push that onto the low side of the AC. It only fits on one spot, so you put that on there. Follow the instructions and squeeze the trigger till the thing's in the green. It's super easy, super trick. And it could definitely save you a lot of money from going to a repair shop and them charging you $200 or $300 to do this. It's like a $40 can, and then once you've got the top part of it, you can screw other cans in. So it's way cheap, way easy. I'd recommend you guys check that out if you need to top off that AC. All right, next up on the list is going to be a quality floor jack or scissor jack if you're on a tight budget, and some jack stands. These are going to be invaluable tools because if you need to pull a tire off, you need to get that vehicle lifted up off the ground, put some jack stands under it, lower it back down on those jack stands so that the weight is not on the jack. It's on something that is made to handle the weight in a static load. I've seen too many videos. I've had some close calls myself on jacks failing, and it's not good. It's not good. It's not safe. So definitely good safety practice is anytime you lift the vehicle up, throw some jack stands under it, even if it's only one. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd always recommend two, but having it so that the vehicle can't fall down and crush you. I mean, what else do I need to say, right? So invest in and Harbor Freight's got a bunch of good options. I've got the low profile, long reach one. When I was looking for that for my Jeep and trucks and stuff, that's just one that lifted the highest. So fortunately for me, it works on lowered cars too. If I ever get one, I'll use it for that. But for now, it works really good on the Jeeps and trucks and stuff. And I've had it for years, and it's doing great. All right, so we mentioned tires. So let's talk about some tire tools, right? We've all had flats. So let's invest in some basic tire tools. A small portable inflator for your tire, like that runs off the 12-volt plug, or a small compressor at your house, just to air up some tires when you need to, can be a lifesaver. If you're a little low, also knowing how to and having the tools to, maybe pull a nail out and plug it just enough to get to the tire shop. If you ran over a nail, the nail comes out, you've got a little hole. Being able to plug that with one of those cheap tire plug kits, just long enough you can actually get that to the tire shop. With modern vehicles running a lot of modern electronics, batteries die. Sometimes we leave the radio on because we're listening to it in the driveway. Sometimes we accidentally leave something on inside the car and it kills the battery. So having a decent set of jumper cables can really, 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 really save the day. All right, bonus tip time, and that is going to be one of the biggest money savers I've invested in recently, and that is going to be the Inside Track Club. So what is the Inside Track Club? They probably ask you every time you're at the counter, hey, are you part of the Inside Track Club? Do you want to be? Well, my recommendation is doing the 2-year plan. So normally it's $30 for 1 year, but if you do the 2-year option, it's $45 for 2 years. So the second year is half price basically. And the biggest advantage of this obviously is better savings. My wife and I bought a generator recently, and we saved over $100 just from the Inside Track Club. There was a normal coupon, and then the Inside Track Club coupon was twice as good. So we saved an extra 10%. Well, on a $1,000 purchase, it's over $100. So it paid for itself in that one purchase. So that means, don't tell my wife, that means I can go buy more tools, right? So if you are just getting started, if you're just getting started out, invest in the Inside Track Club first, in my opinion, because every other purchase down the road will save you a ton of money. It may be $40, $45 up front or whatever, but if you buy a nice $300 floor jack, you might save that $50 on that one purchase. So, stuff to consider. I appreciate you all for watching. If you want to watch my intermediate driveway mechanic tool list, it's right here. Or maybe is this the subscribe button? Let me know. I think this is the tool list. I think this is the subscribe button. If not, I'm backwards. So, but do what you always do, everybody. Take care of one another, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.